Good morning. I'm here with Ms. Bechtel, my mentee, and we are just going to talk about some of the things that I expect to see once I observe her. How are you doing, Ms. Bechtel?
Good, how are you?
Great. Thank you for meeting with me and taking the time to conference with me. Can you tell me more about the lesson that I will observe?
So today specifically we're working on reviewing equivalent fractions and making sure that they fully grasp the concept because that was one standard that we struggled on throughout the semester. So reviewing for our tests and stuff coming up.
Okay. And this is our buffer week, so that's why we're able to review, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. What do you expect students to know and be able to do at the end of the lesson?
After today's lesson, be able to find equivalent fractions, whether the numerator or denominator is given, or if they have to make up them on their own, or tell whether or not that two fractions are equivalent, just depending on what the question is asking.
Okay, and how will this be communicated to students? Like, do you use terms such as like, I want you guys to simplify or find the lowest common denominator or the lowest common multiple? How will you communicate that to the students?
That as well as starting with our I can statements before our lessons.
Okay, you're gonna start with I can. That's great. That's great. Okay, can you talk about the lesson structure? Like, how is the beginning, the middle, and the ending of your lesson?
So the beginning is opening up, talking about what we're gonna go over today and the I can statements, and then the middle is kind of like a quick review with the whole group, and then the end is, or middle end is breaking up into small groups and separating and sending the kids to the EIP teacher for pull out and for my first two groups.
Oh, so for your first two groups, you're going to send them to the EIP teacher.
Yes.
Okay. Also, do you use videos like to grab their attention?
Some days, not all the time.
Okay, some days. Will you use a video when I'm observing you?
Yeah.
Okay, just wondering. Okay, so how is the lesson structured for students that may progress at different learning rates? Like, how will you differentiate your lesson?
We're differentiated when we go into our small groups. So the EIP teacher is helping with the students who need the more one-on-one.
Okay.
And then I am also working with a group that needs that. And then some kids are on their I Ready My Path. Some kids are given teacher assigned lessons specific to this. And then the ones that are working on their My Path is trying to close that gap to where they're closer to where they need to be.
Okay, have you looked into using IXL as well?
We use IXL every once in a while, yeah.
Okay. I just know that that's a platform that's good for multi-levels.
Yeah.
So, okay. So how are your students progressing towards meeting the current student learning objective goal, which is fractions? How are they doing?
Overall, the most part, they did pretty well with fractions. Equivalent fractions is probably like the hardest one that all of them had to grasp that, and I can't even think of the word.
Okay.
They did great with the addition and multiplication though.
How do they do?
Decomposing.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was trying to get.
Okay, how do they do with using manipulatives with finding equivalent fractions? Because I just want to know, and then I'll give you my scenario.
The fraction tiles helped a little bit, but the fraction tiles, since some of they don't do sevenths and ninths and something else, and so if it was like thirds or something like that, that kind of threw them off because they were like, well, I want to make it into ninths, and they don't have fraction tiles for that.
Okay.
So, and then some of the questions ask them to do it with ninths, and then they're at that point stuck when it comes with the fraction tiles. So it helps some of them because they were able to grasp the concept enough with the manipulatives, and then other ones, since it didn't have every single number, they were not able to do it.
Okay. And what special circumstances or situations would you like for us to consider
My third group is very sped heavy. So
Okay.
like there's what 10?
10.
Yeah, 10
Okay.
sped kids, and we have
And that's out of how many?
18.
Ooh, 10 out of 18 sped
Yes.
kids in one setting.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah.
So how does that work? Because I know you said your other two classes have an EIP
Yes.
class. So how does that work with your third period? Does the EIP teacher come in to serve them, or who comes in?
The sped teacher comes in and serves them, and sometimes it's not the best situation because they don't have it's not a very good relationship with the kids and her, so sometimes it causes more issues than help.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the sped teacher, comes in. So this is like a co-teaching model.
Yes.
Okay, so
supposed to
the
be.
sped teacher comes in. So I'll be seeing that sped teacher coming in to help co-teach. Okay. Well, that will be interesting. Well, thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing the lesson.
Yes.